Hey, Saquon, what's Coach Singleton meant to you this year?
He's been amazing for me this year. From the second I walked in the building, our conversations, just the way that he helped me grow and develop, not only as a player but as a man. He challenged you in every single way, on and off the field. So, you know, a lot of the success that I've been having this year, you know, Coach Singleton's the key to that.
Anything specifically you can share that?
Yeah, there's so much, but the biggest thing for me that sticks out, in my mind was a conversation that we had coming into the season where, he kind of expressed how he feels about me as a player and how he views me as a player and how I need to start viewing myself as that, and that this year could be a year where we can do something special, and basically challenge me to do that and let me know that he has my back during it. And so far we've been doing some special stuff this year.
Saquon, Jordan was just talking about how close this team has become. Some of the clips from the game, just the excitement you showed when Will was able to get in the end zone. What has it meant to you to be part of this group as you reach this point?
It's been everything. It's crazy to think about how close I am to a lot of these guys when, however many months ago, I just walked in the building and, we're familiar with a lot of them, going against them and, knowing them through competing. But being able to actually develop, relationships and friendships with these guys has been everything. And it's been super fun. It's been a great process for me, whether it's, on the golf course, whether it's in the weight room, or crazy conversations that we have in the lunchroom. All those things go a long way, and I think it's pivotal to your success as a team when you have a team that's really super close and actually genuinely cares about each other and want to see each other go out there and perform at a high level.
Before the free agency cycle last year, how familiar were you with some of the personnel department, Howie, scouts, coaches? What were your interactions beforehand, and how many of them did you know?
None.
Like during your draft process, or like if you rekindled any relationship?
Not that I remember. My draft process was, kind of different, I guess. I was viewed to be a high pick, so that in combine day, everybody's there talking, and it's like hectic for everyone. For me, it really wasn't. Like I actually had to go out of my way to try to talk to some coaches because you never know, just in case in the future something comes up. But a lot of those conversations were like, "Yep, we're not gonna be able to get you." So, yeah, nothing from draft. Probably, cross paths on game days and seeing each other, but nothing really.
Who'd you go talk to? Who'd you go pursue to talk
The Ravens. I think the Ravens. I think the Colts. So long ago. But yeah, I think those were two teams, and I think they were just the table was open at that time, so I just tried to go sit down and have a conversation.
Did you watch the Super Bowl 2 years ago?
2 years ago, I watched it on a plane coming back because we left that day. So I didn't see the whole thing, but I got to see a little bit of it.
Where were you coming from?
Arizona. It was in Arizona 2 years ago, right?
It was. Oh, so you had been there.
Yeah. That stuff is fun, Radio Row and all that, but I like this a little bit better.
What were your thoughts and emotions as a Giant watching the Eagles play in the Super Bowl? Were you rooting against them?
Of course I was rooting against them. They knocked us out the playoffs at that time. So, yeah, there's no part of me that wanted the Eagles to win. But, yeah, it's funny to look back at it now, probably how I felt. And, during that time and during that week of the Super Bowl to now being here with a lot of those guys that were part of that team now and, trying to finish the job and get us all a ring.
You got a sense from any of those guys how much it hurt?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely for sure. And, I think even though I wasn't part of that team, going back to kind of his question in the beginning, when you're able to develop, a friendship and relationship with these guys and, be able to go to war with each other, it felt like I was. And I know how, like wasn't there, but I can like feel in my own body, myself, how it felt for them to see the confetti fall and the wrong color and having to walk out and definitely don't want to be part of that. And that's definitely something that drives us, for those guys that have been part of it, but also just wanting to get the job done and knowing how it is for those guys, how it felt and doing everything I can in my possible ability to make sure that doesn't happen.
In this Super Bowl, to win the Super Bowl, what would it mean also to have the most rushing yards ever in a season, including playoffs, for you and the line?
Yeah, I mean, we didn't get the single season. We have an opportunity to get that. But the only thing that makes it special, whether if we would got the rushing record during the season or if we get the all-time rushing record and playoffs included, only thing that makes it special is winning the Super Bowl. And that's kind of just the profession that we in, the sport that we in. There's a lot of great things that we accomplished so far up to this, but if you don't get the job done, next Sunday, maybe when you're in your 30s and 40s and you look back on it, you're gonna think about how special it was. But it's kind of gonna make it feel everything like it came up short. So all those things are important. All those things are cool, and we'll love to accomplish that. But the most important thing is winning the Super Bowl, because you do that, it just makes everything else you accomplish even more special.
How did you deal with the losing, up in New York, for one winning season in 6 years? How did you kind of just cope? Because obviously winning is the only thing you talk about. So how tough was that?
Yeah, it was definitely tough. But I think that's why I'm the player I am today, and the reason why I'm having the success I am today. Whether it's losing or the adversities and the injuries that I went through. The reason why I'm able to be at the age I am, and after all those injuries, I never gave up. I never lost hope. I just thought that I always saw this moment coming. I always saw this success coming. At the time, I thought I was going to be still in the New York Giant uniform. But life happens for a reason. Everything happens, and I'm in the right place in the right time where I'm supposed to be. So that's within anything, though, not just in football, not just in the profession that we have. Life is going to throw so much challenges at you, but that's who you know. That's how you know the type of person you are and the type of man you are in those moments. And I think who I was in those moments are the reason why you're able to see me shine, quote unquote, right now, I guess you can say.
We've seen all the videos.
The Mike called you, I forget who you were telling, but you said the goal wasn't just to get here. It was towards the end of the NFC Championship game. Now that you guys are back on the practice field first time ahead of the Super Bowl after a couple of days off, could you feel just like a collective sign of everybody locking back in and getting back to business?
Yeah, for sure. I think you have that day. I think you have 2 days, that night and the next day, Monday, to really let it set in that what you accomplish and be super happy, celebrate, let loose for a little bit, but right away, you got shit right back, right into meetings, because you know that it's a business trip. Everyone tell you, how, the craziness of everything's going to be down there, but you go down there and, you take it all in, you appreciate it, you be thankful for the moment, but at the end of the day, it's about winning that football game and whatever it takes. So, yeah, you give yourself a little bit to celebrate, but then you got to shift your mindset. You got to shift right back and get ready for war.
We've seen all those videos of, the conversation with Nick on the sideline in the Giants game, let the young guys eat. And you have some of your teammates saying, we're witnessing greatness. And you say, well, it's because of you. Where did you learn how to become a good teammate or put team above everything else? Your dad as a kid? How did you learn that?
I think everything stems from my parents. I'll be crazy not to sit here and say that. I'm not the man I am today without my mother and father. I'm very lucky and blessed. Not everyone have both parents in their life and healthy. But then another thing is I don't see that being a good teammate. It's just real. It's just the truth. You can't be great without the greatness of others. And that's not I didn't really hear that quote till I got here, but we give all the praise to everybody, whether it's a quarterback or whether it's me or whether it's AJ. We can't do it. We play the ultimate team game. I love this game, and I've been playing this game since I was 7 years old, and wanted to do it since I was a little kid. And the way you win championships, the way you do special stuff is together. So it's not I don't think that's being a good teammate. I'll be a fool not to realize that. I play running back. You can hand me the ball. I don't care how great you are, but if I got 5 guys in the backfield, I'm not Superman. I can't make all those guys miss, and that's just the reality of it. Jalen, guys got to get open. Jalen got to make the throw. AJ got to make the catch. That's how the game works. And I think we've lost that in today's world with, how much we all get paid, and you have stats of Tom Brady versus Peyton Manning, like it's those two guys going against each other. That's not the truth. It's a team sport. Yes, it stems from my parents, but it's not hard to realize. And I think A lot of other people need to start realizing that too.
Speaking of your father, he said the other day he doesn't think he'd seen you as happy as you are this year since you were introduced to football. Is there truth to that? And also, what did it mean to see him in an Eagles jersey or an Eagles sweatshirt on?
Sweatshirt, right? Yeah, it's hard to get him in a jersey. He's a little stubborn when it comes to that, but he got a Jets tattoo on him, so it's kind of hard to get him to switch. But to see my family say that, it's amazing. At the same time, too, it makes me realize I don't realize how depressed or upset I was the year prior. I thought I did a good job of hiding it. I thought I did a good job of, not letting it bother me. But it's not just my mom and dad saying that. My kids, Anna, all my boys, my friends, they say the same thing, and it's just a good thing to be in a spot where, things are working out how I envisioned it to work out, and things are working out what I worked for. And that's the crazy thing about it. It's like, yes, this is the year it turned out for me. It took it 7 years, but yeah, I guess I'm kind of getting off track. But it's a special moment to see, how happy my family sees me, and to experience that moment with my father, because that's the guy who this whole journey started with. When we used to take our walks to Hockendackwa football field to play for the Hockey Eagles. And those little walks we were having, I used to tell him I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that, and he would instill so much confidence in me at a young age, and to see all the things that I want to accomplish actually coming alive. There's definitely a reason why there's a smile on my face, and probably even a bigger smile when I'm around my father.
When you did sign, there was tremendous excitement. Many of us were there when you were introduced. Did you, at that time, I don't know, let your mind wander, think about what could happen with this group? And did you set individual goals for yourself? Did you think this was possible this season?
Yeah, I didn't think that it was possible, and I kind of knew. You got to envision it, you got to believe it, and sometimes it's funny how things work. Like you work your butt off, you tail off all off season, and that only gives you a chance. And did I do anything significantly different in this off season than I did in others? Not really, to be completely honest. If anything, I probably took a little more time for my body to let my ankle heal and let my knee recover a little bit more from the year prior. But it only gives yourself a chance. But every year, no matter what, you have to come in with that mindset, because we all have a chance to go out there and accomplish what we want to accomplish. So I believed in it. I envisioned it. I had those conversations with myself. I'm not a big guy. Like some guys write it down on notes and put it on the mirrors and stuff like that. I'm more to myself, whether it's, I'm in a sauna or in that cold tub or on the drives in the morning. But it's a cool feeling when everything that you work for, it's all right in front of you, and all those stuff that the player that I knew I was and the player that I believe I was is finally getting to show.
Hey, Nick said that, I think he said in front of the team for everybody to close your eyes and visualize your best play. When he said
How do you
that.
know that?
What's that? I know everything. Well, when he said that, the team sent that out, the social media. What did you visualize when he said that?
My moment was probably the most recent one. Would have been the Rams run, the long one in the snow. That would probably be my moment, and then you kind of get lost into like more of like just smiling and the moments you built, whether it was in high school football or college, and all the little dumb stuff we would do when we were kids and in our late teens. Those was probably my moments that came into my head.
All right. Thanks, everyone. AJ, you made the comment about the feeling like a paid actor at the level. Could you kind of expand on that and what you mean by that?
Yeah. Yes, it's about us, but it's not about us in that way. We have so much we have to do for everyone else, and for the media, the fans, and there's only so little time that we get to, focus on what's important, and that's the game. And we have to do a really good job of staying locked in and staying focused. And And even when I said a paid actor, even the game, it's so many commercials and everything. You can't never really get in the rhythm. And the whole week is just really different. So you guys just try to stick within your routine as much as you can, and not get carried away with everything.
How much do you think that first experience helped you? And do you think you can impart that to the guys that haven't been there?
Yeah, absolutely. It helped out a lot, because, I've been turned down media left and right. I'm required. I got to do this, but
I appreciate it.
yeah, for sure. But it don't matter. None of this stuff matter. These are just words. And, regardless of whatever anybody get up and say, you got to go out and play your best, and you know what we're playing for.
Try to embrace it.
Do I try to embrace?
Try to embrace it as much as you can. Just, hey, this is what it is.
No, for sure. You can't do nothing about it. You try to enjoy it with your teammates, because these memories. But again, you not get carried away because it's not important.
What's your perspective on all that? I mean, you majored in journalism in college, so the being perceived as a paid actor, does that give you? Do you feel like you have some insight into what's going on there?
Yeah, I mean, of course, every writer is gonna hang on every word you say to get a headline to talk about. Every writer is trying to, or every media member is trying to get you on their show to talk about the game, talk about this and that. And there's only a distraction, only take away what's important, and that's the game. And so.
And with respect to the term, feeling like a paid actor, how much does that come down to how you present yourself or how you feel like you're portrayed in that, in that media setting? I guess what I'm asking is like, you could make an argument that there's like a role of the diva wide receiver, or there's the role of the good teammate. Do you feel like you're being like pigeonholed into those kind of roles?
No, not at all. When I said a paid actor, I wasn't going that direction.
Okay.
At all, not at all. Like I said, I'm only saying that because there's so much that we have to do, and it takes away from what's important, not anything else.
Didn't see you out there on the practice field today. Is everything okay?
Yeah, everything's fine. It's part of playing like every other week.
It was up to you. How would the week be?
Oh, we would show up on Friday and do a walkthrough on Saturday and go play on Sunday.
Have you ever seen Alshon's clip about that?
Yeah.
And so Alshon's view is kind of what you feel?
Yeah, for sure.
You had been on the injury report with the knee. It wasn't. Is that what you said?
Yeah, I just asked him.
Okay. I'm sorry. Got distracted by all this paid actor stuff.
Oh, yeah.
AJ, as far as like you mentioned how crazy it gets maybe next week, how important are these 3 days here in the relative calm of Philadelphia to get as much done as you can?
Oh, it's very important. I think yesterday was probably the best day to have everything done by. With the tickets and everything, you want to get all that stuff out the way, and so you can just focus on football. And this is the most normal week we're gonna have, kind of, sort of, going up until when we leave on Sunday.
What are you guys doing different? Are you doing anything different as a team this time around?
No, we're keeping it the same. We may tweak some things here and there, but overall I think it's the same.
What's the biggest area of growth you've seen from Jalen this year?
Biggest area of growth. You could just say his game. You could just say his game, and I think it's speaking for itself. What he do on a daily basis.
How about for you?
For me, I don't know. I had to get back to you on that.
Okay.
When you think about that last game, what sticks with you from that last game, were you able to get over it fast? How long did it take to get over?
No, I was over it really pretty fast. I kept thinking about a play that I didn't receive a call right that could have ended up in a touchdown and resulting in 3 and out.
But why were you able to get over it so fast?
Because it matters, but it don't matter. The game is, once it's over, for me personally, when the game's over, guys, the game is over for me. And I just try to get the information and learn from it and grow, But that play really kept me up and thinking about how did I miss that and what I got confused on.
Nick has spoken a lot about your blocking this year and Saquon's big plays. In the first one, made that great crack block that sort of took out a bunch of people. How much pride do you take in that and the fact that he's able to break those long runs?
I take a lot of pride in it. I love seeing Saquon do his thing. Sure, I was advocating early in the season, for us to run the ball, so it can get us going, open it up for us. But to block my guy and to see Saquon go for 60, who wouldn't love that?
As far as, I remember we talked about Quinion Mitchell coming in and talking, a little trash with you early on in the season.
Yeah.
What have you seen from him in his development, and Cooper DeJean even for that matter?
Man, that time I spoke to you guys about it, I was really saying those guys are really good football players, and I still stand on that. Those guys are really good football players, and they're very smart to be very young. And the play has spoken for themselves, man. Two of those guys have great years for us. Great year for us this year, and I pray they continue doing their thing.
What was the play that kept you up?
I don't want to get into it because we may run it back.
I'm sorry, you're used to being the guy who all the cell phone cameras are upholding, looking at you. The other night at the Sixers game, you're doing that with LeBron. What's it like being on the other side of that?
Man, LeBron is he's one of my favorite players. I didn't grow up watching Michael Jordan. I grew up watching LeBron, and Kobe. But LeBron is one of my favorite players, and I've known him, but just to see him play again, because you don't know when he's gonna retire. That was special to see him and his son, which is incredible. If you haven't seen a game, you need to go see a game, regardless, because that's an incredible scene to watch. Father and son playing the game together, that's crazy. And so, yeah, I wanted to document that because you never know.
AJ, what makes Kansas City's defense so good?
It's a complex question, man, because they are really good. Stopping the run, they're really good in the back end. They play hard. That's the reason why they're in this position. Year after year after year, and so we definitely got our hands full, and we just got to come out and play our style of game.
AJ, has this been kind of like a more challenging season for you personally than even last year or 2 years ago, just everything you've kind of been through?
Yeah, but I'm not looking for pity or anything. Yeah, injuries happen, stuff like that happens. That's a part of the game, and you're working your way through it. But, we're in the Super Bowl, so this might be the best one, depending on how I finish.
Did it kind of show you something about yourself, just like how you're able to deal with all that, even?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because, it didn't come how I wanted it to happen, and my faith in God got closer, and just to release everything, give everything to Him, and just continue just to grow and continue just to go each and every day when you don't know how it's going to turn out, So I definitely say I'm proud of myself in that area.
A couple more, please. You're kind of a student of other corners, and you study a lot of guys. What do you think of McDuffie?
McDuffie is a really good football player. He's a really good football player. I said that year one, and he continues to get better. It should be fun. It's going to be a great matchup, and I'm going to leave it at that.
What's the best way to understand how the team got so much player buy-in from so many of the top-end players to adapt to roles that maybe were different from what they've had before?
Every year is different. Every year is different, and every role is going to be different. And as the year go on, it may change. And as this year, it changed. Injuries happen, and we changed a little bit on offense, and we switched it up and started running the ball more, and then so it started accumulating wins. Who can argue with that? Now, if it was the other way around, then of course it would be a conversation. But it's not, so there's no need for a conversation. And we here, and we trying to finish. So that's the only thing that matters.
Thank you.
We got Jordan here. Jordan, as you prepare for Kansas City's defense, kind of how different is their defense to prepare for? Is there a difference to them?
It's just the next team, Dave. It's just the next team that we have to prepare for.
But I mean, in terms of what they do they do things that other teams don't do? Pressure, et cetera.
I mean, that's Spags, man. That's one hell of a coach right there, one hell of a system. I believe that's what you were alluding to. Man, my big words today. Of course, you got to prepare yourself by going over the film and seeing what makes it so hard to figure out. And I think we have the right people in this building to figure that mess out.
How long did it take you to get over the last game?
The last Super Bowl or the last game that we just played?
Last Super Bowl.
I've always been, be where your feet are, next game mentality, keep playing it. But I'd be lying. It took me, probably good. I want to say maybe until we started playing in September. Really, in 23.
What's your best and worst memories of that game?
Well, the worst you can already imagine. The best memories, probably, just, I guess, being in the position, to try and win it, and being there was probably the best part about it. It's kind of a bittersweet kind of question.
What was it like having BG back on the field, and what can that do for you guys?
I'll tell you what, you heard him before you saw him. That's for damn sure. It was amazing having him out there again. Just that energy, it's infectious, man. And, the right timing, man. It's the right timing, God's timing.
When you saw, when AJ was in here, he was talking about how so many guys have kind of sacrificed their stats, their numbers, whatever, to get to this point. What does that kind of say about the team you guys have? You have guys like AJ and Devontae and Dallas and all those guys willing to sacrifice to make sure you guys get to where you want to go.
I mean, those three guys are selfless, first and foremost. To sacrifice that is a testimony to the character that they have, the kind of person that they are. But it doesn't surprise me because we're here with them every day and. They live what they preach, and I think it's pretty special team this year, and I'll get ahead of it if any of you ask this question. But yeah, I think this team is more closer, more special than the last team that went to the Super Bowl.
Why?
You were.
Yeah, why do you say that?
Our relationships on a personal level are much more closer, and it carries over to the field, the professional side.
You were mic'd up on the big touchdown run. Everybody got to see your kind of reaction when you saw Saquon break away. What's it like for you in that moment?
A rush of emotions. I don't really, I think I just like to have fun. Especially when you do something with intent and it actually pays off. In the moment for me, it's quite funny. I just start laughing and, I kind of lose thought for a second.
You just about killed the guy first.
I was worried about AJ more than the other guy. Sorry.
How is, you talk about your closeness in this team. What is that born out of? How does that happen?
Spending time with each other outside of the facility and going to dinners, going to each other's houses, group settings as well. And also just here, the grind. I think this year we've said it a couple times. It's a lot harder this year than the previous years, and I think that was, with intent to grow us closer. If we're all in misery, we're in misery together. So, kind of that as well. Just knowing that what I'm going through, the guy next to you is going through it too. So that's a special bond there already.
What does it take to kind of buy into that philosophy that, whatever someone else is going through.
Write him up on the board. It's a fine.
You know what I mean? It's not easy to, have that kind of buy-in, I would imagine. Everybody's kind of pulling in the same direction. It doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah, well, you only need, I think that's the whole, I don't even want to say it like this, but that's why leaders are leaders. If you see your leaders buy into whatever culture we're trying to set, naturally you'll follow along. And there's a method to the madness. That's what makes you buy in.
What's the biggest area of growth you've seen out of Jalen as a leader this year?
Biggest area of growth? I'd say his checks at the line. I'd say his communication, making sure we're on the same page when he makes a check. Big step, especially when we lost Kels. Everyone was asking that question, and he stepped up major in that way.
You mentioned the bittersweet aspect of the first time you were in the Super Bowl, and you just mentioned Jason. Leadership, you've taken a step up.
Thank you.
Is it more important to you to get that message across to the guys maybe that weren't there the first time about what it takes to get over the top?
Yes, it is important to, whatever message I have, to pass on that wisdom. But the message is simple. Don't make it bigger than it is. It's the same message we've been living by the last 20 weeks. I'm not going to change it up now because it's the Super Bowl. I think guys know the stakes, that we're playing for, and I just think keeping the message simple, not complicating everything, not changing your routine, is one way that can help with your performance.
When you talked about the closest way, are you talking mostly about the offensive lineman, or was it a more global thing, that the closeness this year?
Yeah, more team thing for sure. Just different groups interacting with different position groups.
Your favorite position group to interact with outside of your own?
Probably the D-line. Yeah, probably the D-line.
Because?
Well, one is a good matchup there, when we're out there on the field, on the pitch. But then just the personalities in that room. Moldwell, guys like JD, JC, Morrow, and Milt. Shit, I can name more. Gabe, even Gabe Hall. Oh, I shouldn't say his name like that. Shoot. It's my accent, I'm sorry. Doesn't count. What else? Yeah, just
It's fun.
it's just fun. Just the nature of being competitors, and they understand the grind, and I think that's kind of where you bond. Just understanding.
Couple more?
I know it's just the next game, but it's against the Chiefs, obviously, who you guys played 2 years ago. So what is that? I don't know. How does that affect sort of your thinking, or what was the thought when you first saw that was going to be the opponent?
It's an opportunity to get back, but then again, it is the next game. Can't lose focus of that. Can't let your emotions get the better of you because you want your get back. But that's the message.
Was there any value to beating them last year?
No, not for me.
Nick has talked
Last
a lot
one.
about how physical you guys have been, and I think it starts a lot with the offensive line. When Landon plays through what he was playing through, then Cam comes in, what he's playing through. What does that mean to your group as a whole?
Not a surprise. We know what we have in those two players. But, man, the grit and determination to want to be out there and for your brothers is, something we don't talk about. It's just known that that's what you're gonna sacrifice something, right? Coach said it this morning, and those two sacrificed their body for us to get here. And, that's why we love them.
All right.
That's why we love them.
Hey, how long after you got here did you realize there was something, like you heard Jordan just talking about the culture here, and how long did it take before you kind of realized there was something special here from that standpoint?
Yeah, it was right away. Really, when I came here and signed, and I went up to meet Vic, and Vic's in his office looking at, watching film, and from that point on, I'm like, okay, this is the type of culture, this is the type of team this is, and I knew about the Eagles from previous years and the things they had done, and just the way they win, and you step in the building and you understand immediately why and how they win.
Nick had mentioned that he put together a whole video loop of Charles Tillman's peanut punches, showed it to the team and coaches. You seem to have a knack for that. Is that something that was always there, or is that something that, you know, you guys have worked on because Nick is stressed and Vic is stressed?
Yeah, it was a big point of emphasis, especially early on in the season when we weren't getting the forced fumbles and the takeaways, and we had to hop on that train. And I bet everyone in the league, every defender in the league, has watched those Peanut Tillman videos and just been like amazed on how he's doing it. But then you really break down like how he's doing it. It's the work. It's the work. It's got to be on your mind. It's a big focus for us. We work it every week, punching at the ball in practice, in walkthroughs. There's always knuckles on the ball in those ordeals. So it's just putting in the work. It's one thing to show those videos and to have us see them, but another thing to put the work in.
What does the film tell you about trying to defend Mahomes to Kelsey in the middle of the field?
I think they're both so dynamic in the way that they play football, and it's kind of a not what you're typically used to in Mahomes gets out of the pocket looking for that second play, and usually receivers run the scramble drill one way, and they kind of do it a whole different way. So it's really focusing on that plaster mentality, just man him up and track him everywhere he goes. But those two have a really good connection, and I feel like they play ball the right way.
Just for those of us who aren't, you know, and for a wider audience, what do receivers usually do in a scramble drill, and what do those guys do that's different? As much as you can reveal to us.
Yeah, well, usually receivers will work across the field or come back to the ball or go deep as the quarterback's rolling out of the pocket, and Pat makes some crazy across-the-body throws, and where Travis is just sitting right in the middle of the field waiting for him, which is not traditional in any way.
I don't know how deep you are into the game plan, but can you tell from that Vic has had a lot of experience playing against Andy/Pat/the Chiefs?
Yeah, I think, I don't know how many times he's played Andy and the Chiefs and whatnot, but you can feel a sense of reassurance with him, and he knows how to handle this situation and handle a team like this.
This is only his second time coaching in a Super Bowl. Can you get a sense of him in the moment for him personally in this?
Yeah, he takes pride in this moment for sure. I think because today he showed us clips of the first Super Bowl he went to with San Fran in New Orleans, and the things they might have went wrong or they might have lost focus in moments, and I could tell it means a lot to him, and it's showing in the way that he's acting to us.
Getting back to that chemistry with Patrick and Travis, a lot of people say they maybe freelance. Is that something you see, or is there a method to the madness?
Freelance, I don't know. I think their chemistry kind of makes it so it's not freelancing. I feel like it's just a built-up trust thing. They've been playing together for so long that I don't know exactly what's going on. I can't really speak to what they're doing. I don't know.
You weren't here last year, but this defense was ranked 30th in the league. What's the biggest thing that Vic has brought? Is it X and O's? Is it work ethic? Is there one thing that's kind of a hallmark of a Vic Fangio defense?
Yeah, I wasn't here last year, so I can't really speak on what they did or who was here before. But I think Vic brings a lot of accountability in us going in there every day, watching practice or the games together as a unit. And Vic makes his remarks in front of the team, and it's not just personally attacking anybody, but it's holding people accountable for sure.
Does he, in front of you, hold himself accountable to you guys?
Yeah, he'll be the first one to admit if he made a bad call in a certain situation, or we let up 5 yards on a check down. He says that's on the call, that's on me. But our biggest thing is just making offenses earn it and not giving it to them, not making mental mistakes, and not giving it to them.
You've talked before how you had known Bobby King before and had met before in Wisconsin. How much has that relationship helped throughout this year? What behind the scenes and help with him?
Yeah, it's cool. We got to rekindle our relationship here. After my pro day, he was actually one of the only guys before COVID shutdown happened that I got to sit down and talk to. We had lunch in Madison, and he really admired my game then, and it's just cool to see that 5 years later, he still admires my game, and it's cool to get to work with him, and he teaches a lot of fundamentals, and I think that's really cool and good for me.
Did you get to see the clip of Nick FaceTiming with Nakobe after the game and sort of having a quick celebration? And, you know, unfortunately, Nakobe wasn't able to be there, but what did he mean to you and this group as you got to this point?
Yeah, I'm glad you asked. I didn't see the clip of him and Nick share that moment, but we FaceTimed him in the locker room after the game, and he was excited, and this was his one wish, was to make sure we not only go to the Super Bowl, but we win it. He's such a big part of this defense and this team. As a linebacker core, we call ourselves the heartbeat of the defense, and really he's one of the heartbeats of the team. And it hurts so bad not to have him out there, and especially in this moment. But he'll be with us in New Orleans for sure, and yeah, he means a lot to us and myself personally.
What can you guys do to kind of keep him up and keep him? I mean, it's got to be devastating, the timing, the way he was playing. What can you guys do to kind of keep him involved and just keep him positive, I guess, as positive as possible?
Yeah, Nakobe's a happy guy. I mean, he's not dwelling on his situation. He's always taking advantage of his opportunities, and he sees it as an opportunity for him to step back and look at his game from a different angle and have perspective on his career and what he's done this past year, what he's done in the past, where he's going. So just keeping him involved. I mean, when I was hurt in college, I just wanted to be a part of the team still and be involved.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.
Thanks,
Zach.
Zach.
You know, man, I'm all smiles right now, man. Just enjoying, just the whole ride. Just been rehabbing, getting to this moment, trying to keep everything in, just trying to make sure that I just, do whatever I can for the team. And we just been pushing, trying to get back, and everything went good so far.
What are some of the benchmarks from here on out? Is it just how you feel after practicing a few days? Just what are the things that would, I guess, keep you from playing in the game?
Well, I think if I'm really striking and it's not feeling really good, I mean, today I struck a little bit and I didn't feel anything, so I'm not really worried about it. But we is gonna ramp it up a little more every day. And I'm just happy that I ain't out of shape. That's the biggest thing, because it's been a little while. But it was cool to kind of get individual, and then tomorrow I'll probably get some team reps. And it was good. But we just taking it one day at a time, just trying to go out there and help the team, because we're trying to go win this game.
You feel like you're in a good place. You're optimistic about being in that game.
I do feel good. I feel, man, I ain't gonna lie. I didn't know what to expect, honestly, but I just been working every day, just doing extra work, making sure that I'm not rushing it, but at the same time, just praying about it and just, taking it day by day. But so far, man, I mean, this is one of the easiest injuries I've had compared to the ones that I've had before. So, but if it's not feeling right, I'm not going to do it. But so far, so good so far.
Well, it's only one day. From an endurance standpoint, how did you feel?
I felt good. That's why I'm saying, like, the endurance was, man, way better than I thought. I was just a little hyped today, talking stuff out there, so I kind of had to chill. I said, don't give away energy. Just make sure you go out there and be intentional on what you're trying to accomplish, and just trying to see where I was at as far as my arm. But I feel really, really good. We all was hyped. Everybody was hyped, just to be back out there, even myself. And I tell them boys, don't take being out there for granted, man. I'm just thankful to be back on that field one time, and I'm just happy that just to go get everything in the Super Bowl.
I guess how long can you feel like you and the team can wait until a final decision's made about you playing? Can you take it all the way up to next Friday, or maybe even beyond that, to make a decision on whether or not you're going to play? How long can you go?
Well, we're gonna ramp it up every day. Every day, and we got to get ready. We got 2 weeks, and I mean, today was a great start, and as long as I don't have no setbacks, man, I don't think it's going to be a problem.
Ultimately, DG, whose decision is it?
I mean, it's really both our decision. I mean, of course, it's a risk going in, but I know I got to talk to Doc even more, and we got to come up with a plan on, just because I don't want him to look, bad, and I'm the one that want to take the risk. But I mean, man, he see that I'm strong and like way ahead of where I'm supposed to be around this time. So I got to go talk to him some more, let him know how today go, and it's just a day-by-day thing. And so, yeah, I'm just hyped to be back on that field, man, and can't wait to get after it tomorrow.
What were those conversations like in the lead up to them opening the window? And I guess what is the risk?
Well, nobody. I mean, they didn't think I was going to, honestly, just being honest, because I wanted them to be honest. Like, what you thought? It was like, nah, they didn't think so. And then as I kept progressing, kept going, and then they just seeing the strength in it and just seeing me work every day, it started to change. And so for me, I always had that mindset to just, man, I'm going to do all I can. I'm not going to overdo it, but if I'm not feeling right, I ain't going to do it. I'm going to just enjoy the sideline and encourage the guys. But, I mean, I'm at this point now where I can't wait.
You still feel that would be your last game?
You know what? I ain't there yet, man. We gonna get this one, man. Let's go get this one. Then we'll talk about it. But right now, my goal was just to get back. If we made it, and we made it. And so I'm just happy that Howie and them opened my window up just so we can see. And I'm trying to make the best of it every day.
I know you've
Well, it was 4 months, so I'm halfway through. I think 2 weeks in a 2 months in a week. And so next week will be 2 months and 2 weeks. Next week will be, once we get to the game, it'll be 2 months, 2 weeks. And so, I mean, man, for me, it's just all about how I'm striking and if I can get my job done. But the brace definitely helped. But I wasn't feeling nothing without the brace. Just doing little stuff, at home and just, I just been working, trying not to overdo it to where, but I definitely have been putting in work.
How does the brace help? How does the brace help?
It just don't let you lock out. It don't let you, get that. You get the extension, but it don't let you, get it from like a bending. I'm pretty much like halfway and then shooting out. But man, I don't feel restricted at all. It's a good balance. And man, whatever I got to do to get ready for this one game, I feel like I can do it.
You said you felt good out there from a cardio perspective in terms of being football shape. So is it something where if you are able to play, you're like full go, or do you think it'll
it's full
probably
go.
be a snap
If
down
I'm gonna go out there, it's gonna be full go. I'm not gonna try to get in the way of like these guys work their butt off, for this moment. And we all, whenever coach put me in, I'm gonna just make sure it's hey, all the way. And man, leave it all on the field, and that's what I'm gonna do. Any rep I get out there, hopefully I can help change the game a little bit.
So obviously there is a risk of Tara really coming back. To prepare for one game, what is important to that, because it could influence the offseason and the future.
Yeah. Where I'm at. I'm 15 in, so I'm at this point where, hey, all or nothing, baby, and we here right now. And today was just a great start. I'm not gonna say I don't know what next week gonna feel like, but today was a great start. And talking with Docs, we're gonna try to do the best we can to make sure that everything is ready and primed for if I am gonna play. And I don't want to go out there looking bad, so I'm not gonna go out there if it's bad. But today was a great start.
At what point after the injury did you start to think this was a realistic possibility?
We're just talking to some of my people that my massage therapist, a couple people that dealt with this injury before, and they said it could be done, and that kind of gave me hope. And so I just every day, from my diet to my supplements and stuff like that, just trying to make sure that I'm healing, taking my time. I took a whole month of just making sure that I didn't do nothing crazy, let it heal. And then the next month, I started to ramp it up a little more. And now today, I was kind of shocked on just not even really feeling nothing as I was striking individual. And I'm just like, okay. And it's just a day-to-day thing, but I feel like I'll be ready.
BG, to look back on where you were mentally when this happened and to think that your season was over, to even be in this position with this incredibly accelerated timeline, my goodness, what does that do for you mentally?
It gave me a boost because it's just something to strive for. It's a goal to try to hit. And I know everybody's body is different. And, I mean, for me, I was just hoping and praying that everything would be okay at the time if we did make it. And now we're here in this moment, everything, I mean, even the trainer's like, hey, let's go for it. I know what risk, I know the risk, but the reward would be so much sweeter. You know, go out there and be able to help the team, and then we go out there and get a win and get that ring to be all over.
What's the rest for you?
You know, just retearing it, but honestly, I don't think so. You know, I just know that that's what they got to say. I don't feel like that, though.
It's the talk of the town that BG is back on the practice field. What do you think is his return so quickly here?
Yeah, I'm excited for him. I knew there was a chance after talking to him last week that if we won, he's going to be able to play. So, man, we're really excited to have him back, and we want to go get this one for him.
I know you guys got a couple days off. I saw a bunch of guys at the Sixers game, for example, celebrating. Were you able to get out into the city and feel how proud the city is of you guys right now?
I saw some of the guys out there at the Sixers game. I stayed home a little bit. I'm a older guy now, so I kind of stay out of the crowds. But no, they're definitely happy, and man, the job's not finished, and we still got one game to go, and man, achieve the dream.
And I feel like that is definitely the message, especially post-game, where you guys took maybe a couple minutes to celebrate, and it's on in the next one of winning this game. Do you feel like that was different than last time around? Has that always been the message that we're not really taking too long to celebrate this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's every season's different. I don't know if this year I feel like we had maybe more pressure on us. I feel like just the preseason, everything we went through was different. Just playing through that and then going to the playoffs and just having to continue to answer the bell. I just feel like we have a lot of guys that are extreme competitors and play a lot of football. And then the guys that haven't are extremely talented. Look at our defensive backs and what they're able to do. With every game, they gain more experience and to the monster that they have now on defense. So, man, they're taking the ball away and putting us in a good situation.
And you said you felt like this team had more pressure all season long. Why do you think that is?
Well, you get Saquon, you have guys like him, AJ, who's going to get the ball. What type of offense you're going to have. So, it's a lot of guys being selfless and, putting their teammates above themselves. And that's what it takes to get here. I mean, there's a lot of factors that come into play. We're fortunate with guys being relatively healthy, and it's a big thing too.
And what does a week like this look like? Do you put all the game plans together this week because you know next week is going to be so crazy?
Yeah, I mean, next week we'll be busier with the media stuff, but yeah, we're putting in some harder practices. We had one in today, so really putting in a lot of the game plan in now, and then kind of fine tune it during the week in New Orleans. So,
what do you tell the young guys about the craziness of next week?
Yeah, I mean, the hype, none of that stuff matters. I think your practice habits and being able to adjust in game and really taking it one game at a time, and don't just be glad to get to where we're at. We still got a game to play.
And how much do you look at the last matchup, the last Super Bowl matchup? Is that still relevant to you with the team being somewhat different?
Yeah, I mean every team's different, every year's different, but the motivation's definitely there, and hopefully use it to our advantage.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Well, I know it's back to business as usual, back on the practice field, but did you have a chance to celebrate the big win, and how have you felt the city kind of engulf this celebration with you?
Yeah, I mean, after the game, being with my family and parents and friends that were at the game, it was really cool, to be able to hold the trophy and, celebrate with all my teammates and them. It was awesome, seeing the videos from around the city, people on Broad Street. I didn't really expect that. I guess I shouldn't have underestimated, the Eagles fans, but no, it was cool to see that, all the celebrations that were going on.
And I'm sure you've heard about the celebrations and you've heard the passion of Eagles fans, but did the celebrations exceed the expectations?
Oh yeah. I didn't expect people to rush Broad Street like that. That was insane. Like you probably couldn't even move if you were down there. But it was really cool to see. It makes you want to give that much more, for the city, just seeing how much, Eagles football means to them.
Yeah, and especially I can tell from talking to some of the older guys, it's that balance of celebrating the win, but understanding there's a much bigger project here to achieve. Do you kind of feel the same way?
Yeah, absolutely. We understand. You gotta take in that moment after winning the NFC Championship, and then, you gotta turn the page because the ultimate goal is one game away. So we're back to work today, and preparing for that next game.
You guys had the conversations to the young guys like you of what to expect for next week.
A little bit. I've heard a little bit of all the obligations that we gotta, go to. So it's gonna be a little bit different than a normal week, obviously, because it's the last Super Bowl. But just try to focus on the game as much as we can. That's been the message. Study as much as we can here. So next week, we can just kind of refine things when we're down there and with everything that's going on.
Is there anyone you'll lean in on particularly that's been there, done that before maybe?
Yeah, probably the guys that were here a couple years ago, those veteran guys. Just talk to them, see what they did, what worked, what didn't work, to try and figure out just how to stay locked in on the task at hand.
Yeah, BG always brings a lot of energy, man. He's one of those guys that you love going to war with. So excited, to see his window open, and we'll see what happens with the game. But I know he's going to give us everything we got.
Thank you. Hey, Oren, I saw Nick Sirianni in last week's team meeting kind of tell you guys to close your eyes and envision a play that meant something to you. What did you think of?
There was a couple in college. One against Kansas State, just making a game-winning tackle to clinch the game, and that was a big one for us. And then there was a couple in high school where just with my boys, just the innocence of the game, and where I fell in love with the game of football. Just kind of I feel like I always kind of go back to moments like that where, the business side of things kind of gets a little crazy, and then you just got to remind yourself this is the game that we're blessed to play, and just treating it as such is it's not too serious, not too crazy, but just really enjoying the moment.
What kind of challenges does Travis Kelce pose that other tight ends don't?
Yeah, he's a great route runner. He has great feel for the game, great feel for zones, sitting down, and he has just great chemistry with Mahomes. So they've been playing together for a long time, and together they have a great duo. So for us, it's just going to be a matter of plastering once Mahomes get out of the pocket, being physical with him. But we're up for the challenge.
You mentioned playing them last year, of course.
Yeah.
Is it almost kind of easier preparing for them, knowing that they're definitely playing all the snaps as opposed to...
Yes and no. I feel like I always approach everything as I am the starter, and that's been my approach my whole career, just to be ready, whenever the opportunity comes. Because if you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But just getting the practice reps, that definitely does help, in terms of the physical reps, but the mental reps are about the same.
We saw some people FaceTiming with Nakobe.
Yeah.
After, how involved has he been able to be even after surgery?
Yeah, man, he's been great, man. I know he's doing his rehab out in LA right now, and he's here with us. We still have the same group chat, so he's texting us, making sure we're staying locked in, and just really wanted to include him, with the FaceTime after the game because he's just as much a part of that win as any of us, So excited to see him down in New Orleans. I think he's going to make the trip out there, but it speaks a lot to the room. We have a really great bond. Guys really bond with each other, on and off the field, and want to see each other succeed. So that goes a long ways.